So we're back to the art scroll. It's called the Tanakh series. Tanakh is the Hebrew words for Torah, Nevi'im, and Kesuvim. So you put it together into a little acrostic there. This is called the Sefer Tehillim, which is another word. In English they call them psalms. They're not psalms, they're really songs, poetic songs, all dedicated to our King. Our master of all is the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, is God. So what we come over here is that this is a picture of the minstrel. The minstrel at the heart of the Jewish people, his name is David. Now David is really close to a word which really means the loved one. If you know anything about the life of King David, it's anything but a tranquil life. But nonetheless, he finds God in the most unbelievable places and never stops calling out to his name. So the Medrash is going to say, the blurb at the beginning of this, the intro, is going to say that there was a rebellion that took place led by his son Avshalom. He actually usurped the throne during the life of his father. And at that time, David HaMelech was 65 years old. That's what we're going to see. And the Torah is saying that at such an advanced age, if ever any of you have gotten to the age of 65 or are looking at it to get an idea of what it's like to suddenly have your life's work taken away from you by one of your children who turns his back on you and casts you out. Let's see over here what they say in this introduction. So this is in Hebrew, it's Mizmor Gimel, the third song. So the introduction starts like this, and I really wanted it to say something else. It's going to go like this. The drama of King David's flight from his son Avshalom at the age of 65 took place towards the end of the king's life. Now, I looked at this, as I said, I'm a little bit older. And I can understand how difficult life can be if you're jarred when you're older and you're jarred. And then something so horrible as to have your own son depose you. Thus, the placement of this chapter at the beginning of the Psalms, because there are 150 Psalms, this is only number 3, present a problem. A puzzle which is magnified by the fact that we find Psalms dealing with David's early life, that is King David's early life, near the book's end. So they're juxtaposed. So what's going on? Now this was seems like a mystical kind of idea. I really don't know it, but he's going to say it, and he says like this. One solution offered by the Yalkut Shimoni, which is a book of Midrashim, does away with the problem entirely. Rebbe Lozer said the portions of the Torah were purposely recorded without proper sequence. So in other words, you have the end at the beginning and the beginning at the end of that 150. Because had they been in order, whoever read them would have had the power to revive the dead and to perform miracles. Now this needs explanation, but this is the statement he's quoting, the Yalkut Shimoni. Therefore, the true order is concealed from man and known only to Hashem, because he said that in order, and that is one of the things that scholars are doing. Scholars are attempting to try to place the world in the proper order in order to be able to bring the maximum amount of blessing into the world. The Torah is God's plan and blueprint for life. Our mission and challenge is to toil over it in an effort to achieve understanding. If these vital formulae were spelled out clearly and unambiguously, then anyone could know the secret of producing life and manipulating nature. Now, all of this is beyond me. Now, he says you could see there's an overview. The ArtScroll edition of Bereshit, that is the first Genesis, first book of the 5 books of Moses. Now, that's one idea. He said that there is a secret order here, or it is intentionally out of order. There was something that we would be able to see within this connection that would bring us into a position to be creators of life ourselves. Now, another solution, he says, which addresses itself to the heart of this problem, is offered in the Talmud. This is the Babylonian Talmud. It's in a treatise which is called Blessings, or Brachos, and this is the page number. In the previous chapter, the messianic turbulence of Gog Magog. Now, this is really coming very close to our time. So, it's very interesting. Magog is, I know this is dated, but right now there's this thing called MAGA, which is going on in the United States. So you have MAGA, was described briefly. Now, over there, he said, the previous psalm, we talked about the ultimate war, the war that comes before the Mashiach, the Messiah. As explained in the introduction, it will be an age of anarchy, an age of disintegration of all authority. Thus, this psalm is intended to lend credibility to the prophecies of the previous one. If a person shalech is it then possible that a slave should rise up against his master? Then you could answer like this. Is it not even harder to imagine that a son should rise up against his own father? But just as such a shocking rebellion did indeed come to pass when Avshalom, as we pronounce it Avshalom, overthrew David, he overthrew his father. So too will the uprising of Gog and Magog come about in the future, as we are beginning to get into where you can see the chaos in the United States that has been fostered here and how this is beginning. Now, he says in other places, and we could find a true appreciation of this psalm is impossible without understanding the historical background of the revolt of Avshalom. So he gives a site reference and where you can look that up. Here comes the song itself. He says, a song of David, and he fled from Absalom, his son. He said, Hashem, how many are my tormentors? The great rise up against me. The great say of my soul, there is no salvation for him from God's Selah. But you, Hashem, are a shield for me, for my soul, and to raise up my pride. With my voice I call out to Hashem, and he answers me from his holy mountain, Selah. I lay down and I slept, yet I awoke, for Hashem supports me. I fear not the myriad people deployed against me from every side. Rise up, Hashem, save me, my God. For you struck all of my enemies on the cheek. You broke the teeth of the wicked. Salvation is Hashem's. Upon your people is your blessing, Selah.